Hi, I'm Joss.
Hi, I'm Claudia.
And this is the Let's Get Down to Business podcast.
We're two cousins on opposite ends of the globe with a lot of opinions about figure skating.
And we are here to deliver the news, recaps, and are dusting off our microphones to bring you 4 full episodes for Worlds Week.
Swig of gin. Why have I almost finished my alcohol?
You should keep that in the intro.
Hello, everybody. It has been a while since we have talked into our microphones, but we have so much to talk about, especially in this upcoming week. It's going to be absolute chaos. Like, it's been absolute chaos for the past, God knows how long anyway, so...
However, we have covered Russian men multiple times this season, so I think we fully prepared our bodies for the chaos.
Oh, yeah. We're ready mentally and physically, and we are also not ready mentally and physically at the same time.
I think that encapsulates our feelings about this entire season.
Pretty much. How have you been?
I am busy. I picked up a 3rd job. However, I am fully vaccinated. I'm very excited about
Woohoo! That's awesome.
Yay for immunity.
Did you get the Pfizer vaccine?
I got Moderna. My husband got Pfizer. So we have
cool.
all the mRNA in our house.
Awesome. Well, in Australia, we're still kind of like, oh, vaccinations? Oh, cool. All right. If it comes, it comes. But whatever. I mean, we're pretty much back to as normal as you can get, still with COVID precautions around. But we're very lucky that Australia has been pretty good with our COVID response. But now, I mean, it's bucketing down with rain, absolutely. There's floods everywhere. The deluge is just insane. A lot of pathetic fallacy about the chaos that's about to ensue. So the world, Mother Nature is getting us ready. Let's start. Actually, no, before we start, I just want to say to all of our listeners, the 2 of you guys, aka hi mom, hi friends,
Mom and our 2 friends.
And our 2 friends, and your dog. We do have timestamps. If you're watching on YouTube, they will be in the down bar. If you're on whatever podcast platform you are listening on, they will be in the podcast description. So because this is probably going to be really chaotic, go check those timestamps out. So yeah.
All right, so we're going to kick off our episode with some random news that we have acquired during the time between our last competition and now. And I guess the most exciting, happy piece of news that we have here is that Keegan Messing and his wife Lane are having a baby.
That's really, really exciting. Congratulations, Keegan and Lane. Very, very excited and happy for you guys. A little mini Albertan cowboy or cowgirl.
Oh my gosh.
Or cow person.
Fave.
Cow person.
Cow person.
Moo.
I am frequently a cow person, if I do say so myself.
Very, very exciting. Hope everything is healthy and all well and good.
Oh my gosh, we're so excited. If Nathan Chen doesn't hit you up and buy your baby a pair of Nikes, just hit us up. Let's get downpod@gmail.com and I'll buy your child a pair of Nikes.
Absolutely. But Nathan really he'll be on his game. He's really good at the shoe giving game.
Maybe Nathan will bring them to Stockholm in the COVID bubble. He'll just leave them in the bucket, in the kiss and cry for Keegan.
That would be cute.
It's my fanfic. I'm writing the fanfic in my head. So we're going to move on to kind of a terrible piece of news. But before we do, I do want to give a content warning for sexual assault and abuse. So please fast forward maybe 1 or 2 minutes if you're listening to this and you don't want to listen to that content. But this piece of news comes from Christine Brennan's Twitter, and that is that John Zimmerman has been suspended for 2 years by Safe Sport for covering up the alleged sexual abuse of a 13-year-old female figure skater. And in my opinion, suspended for 2 years is literally not even the bare minimum. But
yep.
Anyways.
Sylvia Fontana and Vinny Dispenza got 6-month probations, but apparently Fontana is still going to Worlds with Kevin Amos.
Gross.
Yeah.
Gross times 1,000.
Yeah, and in kind of a similar field, apparently in response to the news, Morgan Cipre posted on Instagram a picture of a shirt that had on it, "If I go to hell, at least I'll be with all my friends." And just like,
the audacity is real.
It's a
Real
It is a
gross.
choice.
It is a series of poor choices.
Take from that what you will.
Those are the choices that were made.
All right, let's move on to Worlds. Let's start with some general news. First of which is that the World Championships is officially on. Yes, it is. And it is still the official and primary Olympics qualifying event. Just like any other season. Yeah, the second qualifying event is still the Nebelhorn Trophy, and that will take place in September of this year. So, I mean, there are a lot of opinions about this. I mean, some of the opinions range from like, oh, the skaters are being forced to go to Worlds, because they've made this an Olympic qualifying event. And I mean, like, yes, Sweden has not had the greatest response to COVID, aka like a really not great response to COVID. So yes, it is very concerning, but I don't know, guys. I don't know.
I mean, I think the prevailing opinion from what I've seen is that, yes, we are excited that Worlds is going on. Should Worlds really be going on? Who knows? But, regardless, I think there is just kind of a general buzz of excitement. Glad that the skaters, athletes get some competitive ice under their feet. But really, in the grand scheme of things, should this be an Olympic qualifying event? Should this even really be happening? Who knows? But I think that is general sentiment. Excitement with a bunch of a strong handful of hesitation.
Yeah, I mean, I saw somebody somewhere, probably Reddit or like a forum, just go, "Oh, do you guys reckon that the Winter Olympics is going to be pushed back another year, so we can have that 2-year gap between Summer and Winter Olympics?" And then I'm like, there's going to be 1 year where that gap is going to be reduced to 1 anyway. And so I think that whichever side of the fence you sit on, there's always going to be a bunch of pros and cons to it. And I mean, the ISU is the ISU, and I think they're just hoping that 2022 is going on, and they think that this is the best possible route. However, increased COVID protocols and all of that, meaning there's no more banquet after the competition, which I'm sure a certain nation will be very disappointed in, considering they love their banquets during COVID, maskless. 3 guesses who that is.
We don't love a super spreader event, though, so they don't get the opportunity to spread their germs.
And speaking of a certain country, Team Russia is skating under the name of FSR, which is the Figure Skating Federation of Russia. And this comes from the ban of athletes competing under the name of the Russian Federation in international competition. So it's very similar to the 2018 Olympic Games, where all the athletes of Russia were under the, quote-unquote, neutral flag of Olympic athletes from Russia. So Russia's just giving us so much at the moment. It's a lot.
As they do. Apparently, I also saw on a whole bunch of Russian athletes' Instagram stories that they were all on this plane that the Russian Federation had chartered. However, it wasn't actually part of a closed bubble that continued from the national teams. This is from a tweet from @QuadFLoopTZ on Twitter. And apparently at least one athlete on that plane who represents Georgia was training at her normal rink right up until she left for Sweden. And there was also an Instagram story that I saw where this cameraman from Channel 1 Russia was literally like on the plane, and I'm sure that he probably did not quarantine like in that closed bubble at all. So
yeah,
I mean, they're gonna be doing what they're doing as they do, but
I love it and hate it at the same time. I love it because like only Team Russia would be like, we're having this bubble at Novogorsk, we're doing all the COVID safe things. And then, like, literally get on the plane and say, like, hey, yeah, you can come on. You weren't in the bubble. Yeah, you can come on. You weren't in the... Like, yeah. I mean, the whole cameraman, yes, I get that Channel 1 loves to do their kind of, like, really artsy fluff pieces or, like, documentary pieces. But Knowing that Worlds has this competition bubble going on with like different levels, I wonder if the cameramen are even going to be able to get like the higher level access to actually film the skaters, because otherwise it's just a fruitless endeavor.
I mean, the Ristelicum banquet was a super spreader event, so take from that what you will. Apparently, an ISU VP, Lakernik, stated that the ISU would have considered moving Worlds to Russia. No thanks.
If Sweden couldn't hold it.
Pass. We're going to pass.
But if not for the Court of Arbitration for the sports ban on Russia holding like World Championships events, like, oh, if only it wasn't for that, like,
that's the weakest link. The weakest link.
But yes, I think the skaters are apprehensive but also excited to go to Worlds at the same time. Liza Tuktamysheva gave an interview where she said that, I think a very few athletes will say that they are forced to go to the World Championships. For a professional athlete, the worst thing that can happen is a loss of motivation. And when you know that there are competitions and you are preparing for the World Championships, then you, as a professional athlete, are able to, motivate themselves and yada, yada, yada. So I think a lot of them are just grateful to be able to obviously skate in an international competition, but a lot of the skaters on the circuits are friends and they haven't seen their fellow skaters for a long time, just like all of us, not being able to see our friends for a long time as well. So I think that, adds to the whole excitement of it all.
Yeah, so a lot of skaters are arriving in the bubble. We saw Yuzuru Hanyu arrive at the Stockholm airport. We also saw a whole bunch of skaters from the Russian team doing all sorts of fun things. Tiffany Sigorsky has been posting so many things on her Instagram stories. They have been playing air hockey, table tennis, this basketball shooting game that you get at Dave & Buster's, PlayStations. It is so much fun.
It is absolutely poppin'.
Yes, real poppin'. Everyone is wearing their masks, as I have seen in her story, apart from Mauricy Kvitlashvili, my friend Mauricy. I'm a big Mauricy fan, but he was not covering his nose. You really need to get on that nose, Mauricy.
I know. And the surprising thing is that, all of the Russians, yes, it is mandatory to wear masks. And like even the welcome pack at Worlds gave each person like 3 masks. And they're just like, masks, guys? All the Russians had them over their noses, except for Mr. Georgia himself. Oh. Danny G even had his mask over his nose. Well, probably like Eteri was just like, Danny, come on, like, you got to do this.
Maybe if we had given Mauricy a blue mask to match his genie outfit, maybe that would have been the kicker to be like, okay, I'll put it over my nose. I accept.
Well, we both know what we're ordering online after this.
Blue mask. But in other random things skaters are doing at Worlds, Yuma Kageyama, Sweet Yuma, only posted one Instagram story, and it was the chocolate bar that they had gifted him in the welcome pack that he got.
And nothing else. Like everyone else is like Ashley Kane, Gribble is like filming her yoga workout in her hotel room. All the Russians are filming all the games and like, what they got for food. And Yuma's just like, the chocolate. I only care about the chocolate. Oh, Sweet Yuma.
On brand.
On brand.
I feel like I would be friends with him.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I don't like parties and I don't frequently have time for yoga, but I always make time for chocolate. So.
Well, I practice yoga every day and, I lie on my back in my bed for about 8 hours every day. And that is my yoga, everybody.
That can be the episode title. Episode 17, Worlds Preview, 8 hours in Savasana.
Approximately 8, if I'm lucky. Okay, let's move on. We've got a lot to discuss. Let's start with just some random facts about skaters at Worlds. Let's start with Sui and Han. I miss them so much. Oh my God, I cannot wait to see them at Worlds.
Oh my gosh, they are bringing back an old program for their short program. I think it's from 2017.
Yeah, they're bringing back Blues for Kluke. And it looks like they're keeping their free skate from last season, which fair enough, they've been like battling a bunch of injuries. Han just came back from surgery. So like fair enough, especially with this cluster beat of a season. you know what, they're going to get new programs for the Olympic season, so it's all good, especially since the Olympics are going to be in Beijing. You know that they're going to up their ante next season. But we're just very glad they are healthy and ready to compete at Worlds. Smart and Diaz. Let's talk about ice dance, Spanish ice dance, giving us more than we ever asked for.
There was apparently a skate off, and that is just, it's like a, it's like, God, this is so on brand for me, but like the Masked Singer, sometimes they have face-offs at the end where each mask will sing approximately like 30 seconds of a song, and the audience will decide who they like the most. This is how I'm picturing it, is that they participated in face-off like the Masked Singer. But Smart and Diaz lost to Hurtado and Calyavin, and therefore they are the alternate to go to Worlds, and Hurtado and Calyavin are the Spanish ice dance team that is going to Worlds this year.
Spanish ice dance is honestly the gift you never knew you wanted, because it is always between Hurtado and Calyavin and Smart and Diaz. Like, let's just hope that Hurtado and Calyavin finish in the top 10 so they are 2 spots for the Spanish ice dancers come Olympics. Otherwise, it's going to be disappointing for one of them, and it's always a flip-flop, and like that must hurt a lot. So let's hope that a top 10 finish is in the cards for them. But let's talk about our lovely, lovely boy, Jin Boyang, who finally, after years of speculation, has finally changed coaches. Well, not changed, but now has listed Brian Orser and Tracy Wilson as his coaches, alongside, like, he's keeping his main coach, Fu Chaishu. So that is exciting. We get a new TCC member.
Oh my gosh, imagine the boards at TCC. There's going to be the Pooh tissue box holder and then the Spider-Man tissue box holder.
We love it. Oh my God, Boyang and Jason.
Oh my gosh, imagine the friendship. I'm going to write friendship fanfic. I don't, disclaimer, I don't actually write fanfic. I just like write it in my head for about 15 seconds.
As soon as you said friendship, I was like, imagine if they all had friendship bracelets.
Oh my gosh, friendship bracelets. And they wore them while competing. And we just got to like spot them in the kiss and cry.
That would be hella cute.
Imagine.
So I'm very excited for Boyang because this has been a long time coming. So I'm excited to see how Brian and Tracy kind of elevate Boyang's skating to the next level because, you know, he was very close to the podium in the last Olympics. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited to see what this produces. And speaking of the cricket club members, we've got some news on Yekaterina Kurakova. She scared everyone a little bit when she updated her ISU bio, like coaches, and didn't include Brian and Tracy. But she cleared this up, but this fan favorite skater cleared everything up. And she said in an Instagram message, you know, it's just for this competition because, you know, she had no possibilities to go to Canada because of COVID. So she listed Lorenzo Magri as her coach for the World Championships. She said that, you know, I didn't see Brian for a year. He didn't see my programs live, and that wouldn't be fair if I would give all responsibility to him. She definitely is a fan favorite. She is so bubbly and adorable. We wish her the best of luck for this World Championships.
Yeah, and our next piece of news is pretty interesting, and this will kind of lead into our next big section here about withdrawals, about the world's entries, etc., etc. But Korean nationals took place, and the 2 ladies that were selected for the world's team were Hyein Lee and Yelim Kim. And unfortunately, Young Yu, who is a huge fan favorite, did not make the Korean ladies world team. She placed 4th at nationals. She was 1st in the short program and 5th in the free skate and 4th overall. And she actually was not even first alternate. She is second alternate. Seo Young Wee is first alternate. And another Korean fan favorite, Eunsu Lim, she placed 6th at nationals, 4th in the short and 9th in the free. So really interesting how things seem to be moving a lot with Korean ladies. But I have always been a fan of both Hyein and Yelim, and I'm so glad that they get to go to Worlds because I have seen their potential for a long time. And even though I'm really sad that Young Yu and Eunsu are not getting to go to Worlds, I think that the 2 ladies that were chosen are very well deserved.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. All right, let's move on to the withdrawals, or people who are missing from Worlds, which is like surprisingly like a lot bigger of a section than I like anticipated.
It's a really decent amount of
I
people,
know.
unfortunately.
Let's start with the quick, easy explanation. Withdrawals. My fellow Australian Brendan Carey unfortunately withdrew from Worlds due to an injury. It looks like he injured his like lower left leg, so maybe like an ankle or fractured fibula. Anyway, like super disappointing for him. But I know that he does great at Nebelhorn and he's going to grab a spot for Australian men. Fingers crossed. So wishing you a very speedy recovery. More injury withdrawals. Recently, it just came in that Chinese pair team Wang Yuchen and Huang Yihang have withdrawn, as well as Armenian lady Anastasia Galustian. Yuramin and Daniel Eaton, the ice dance team from Korea, have also withdrawn. But actually, Sofia Holichenko and Artem Dorensky, the Ukrainian pair, tested positive for COVID prior to departure for Stockholm and thus are not allowed to compete and have withdrawn. So hopefully they recover quickly and don't become super spreaders. All right, let's get to the main points.
Oh my gosh. Okay. There are two kind of big withdrawals / missing teams. The first, we're going to talk about American pairs. So this is really interesting because everyone is like, seems kind of sus here, but Jessica Callalang and Brian Johnson have withdrawn, and they cited personal reasons. And people were like, what the hell? Like, is this COVID? Like, did one of them get COVID? Are they injured? But then people were like, if it was COVID or an injury, they would probably just like straight up say
it,
right?
yeah.
Because like literally all the other teams that we were talking about, everyone said, right? But instead of them going, Ashley Kane Gribble and Timbalet Duke are going, who, I mean, we love them. We love their programs this season. So very happy for them. But Jackie Wong from Rocker Skating did a couple of Worlds preview Instagram lives. And on his live about pairs, he said that they're not splitting, but he's not at liberty to say why they withdrew, which is super sus. I'm like, but then what is it? Because like we literally have been saying this all season, because last year was their time to go to Worlds, right?
Yeah.
Like they were skating so well, had their nationals moment. They were like the nationals moment of last year, apart from Mariah Bell. But anyways, and then they were supposed to go to Worlds last year, but then they didn't get to because Worlds was canceled. But why are they not going this year? I don't know. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's super sus. I mean, personal reasons. It could be family members in trouble. It could be coaching change, but that wouldn't really be like personal reasons. Well, either way, we hope that everything works out fine for Jessica and Brian, and that they stay safe and healthy. But let's move on to kind of the biggest piece of news that to be honest, I kind of forgot about this. And it's the fact that Papadakis and Cizeron aren't attending Worlds this year. And this was due to concerns about COVID and their preference to focus on preparing for Beijing 2022. And this was announced like ages ago. But I mean, so much has happened since that, like I completely forgot about it. But what is interesting is that France is sending 2 dance teams to Worlds. And to earn 2 entries next year, those 2 teams have to have their total placements equal to or less than 28. And there is quite a possibility that those 2 dance teams won't be able to qualify 2 entries to the Olympics next year for France in ice dance. And most likely, if they're actually like 99% likely, if there is only 1 spot, it's going to Papadakis and Cizeron. So like, I mean, feels bad for the 2 French dance teams who are going to Worlds.
Yes.
And they're probably excited that they are going to Worlds, but yeah.
But sad. Feels bad. All right, that is the end of our withdrawals / missing people for this year. And we're going to actually move into predictions, which is honestly my favorite part of Worlds every year. I'm like, okay, people have withdrawn, but here's my podium and here's why I'm right. Although this year I don't think I'm particularly correct. I just want to talk about it.
Okay. Did you include pewter? Because I've gotten in the habit of including pewter medalist predictions, even though like I know pewter doesn't exist outside of America.
No, mine is just a mess because like if you take a look at our show notes, Claudia's are like gorgeous and mine are just like vomit in a Google Doc. So no, I didn't do pewter.
It just speaks to the range and spectrum of neurodiversity and how brains work.
How brains work. That's a nice way to say mod pass, but okay. Okay, why don't we start with what event do we? Let's start with men. Okay, who do you have in? Why don't you do your podium first, and then I'll do my podium, and then we can talk about it. Let's do that.
Okay, this is like highly dependent on stuff. But I'm like, Yuzu has a slight edge. Let's say like it's a 60-40 between Yuzu and Nathan. Like Yuzu's got the tiny bit of edge, assuming that like he skates clean. So in second place, I've got Nathan with a 60% and Yuzu with a 40%. Like, why the hell do I think this way? Anyway, it's Yuzu Nathan / Yuzu Nathan for first and second. I think everyone like, it's expected. I have Misha Kolyada in third. Although, like, I need Misha to be on the podium first and foremost. Like, he has to be on the podium. My pewter medalist is Shoma Uno. And I also have, like, 5th to 10th, mainly because, like, I wanted to include the skaters that I love. For example, like, Jason Brown, Keegan Messing, Jin Boyang, Junwon, Yuma, Vincent. Yeah, that's about it.
That's about it. Okay, let's do my podium. Okay, so first and second, I have Nathan and Yuzu. I did not do a 60-40 split because, as we know, my brain doesn't work like that. And third, I also have Misha because, like, how can you go to Worlds and just, like, not have Let's Get Loud on the podium? We just can't have that. So we're going to have it. I'm going to speak it into existence. As they say in the good MLMs, we're going to manifest it.
Oh my God. I actually think here is a hot take that might be controversial. It's not really controversial, but
I hate it when people start a sentence like that. But okay, I'll hear you out.
It's not controversial. I'm just like bad with words. I actually think there is a possibility that Misha wins the free skate.
Okay. I'm not mad at it.
I'm not mad. Mainly because I'm just like, who would I love to like win medals, right? Like a gold medal. And I'm like, I need Jason Brown to win the short program. Like, please do a stick it moment, everyone, and like agree to fail in your short program so Jason can win.
But like, don't.
Do but don't.
Do but like, don't. Do but don't.
Like, at least we get to see Cinnamon next year. And so there's a lot more opportunity for judges to correctly inflate scores for Jason. Like, if inflation is going to happen and, like, unfair scoring is going to happen, +5 everything that Jason is doing in his short program and, like, 10s across the board in PCS, and, like, nobody will be mad. Like, I don't think anybody will be mad at that.
No, I don't know a single person that would be mad at that.
Exactly, because it's just too fabulous. But, yeah, I mean, for the men, I'm excited for Jason, Misha, Yanhan. I'm so excited for. He's going back to Worlds.
Oh my gosh, I love him. I'm obsessed with him. Obsessed.
Uncle Bachenko is also going. Excited to see him, swashbuckle his way into Stockholm. Mikhail Breshin is going.
Drive his pirate ship into the Stockholm dock.
He didn't arrive on plane.
He walked the plank into the rink.
Wow.
Okay, I'm gonna stop.
We've got our favorite blue genie, Marisi Kvitilashvili. Junwon Cha is also going. Yuma Kageyama is going to his first Worlds, I believe.
Oh my gosh.
And fan favorite, Mexican skater Donovan Carrillo got his minimum technical element score and he's going to Worlds. So excited for him.
Literally been watching all season for Donovan to get his minimum scores. I was like, is he gonna do it? Please let him do it. But he did. Very happy. But yeah, men is gonna be interesting. The top 10 is like so stacked, and even to like the top 12, like top 15, like so stacked. I'm beyond excited. I think out of all the events, I think men I'm the most excited.
Me too. Oh my God, we haven't even mentioned Kevin Amos. And like, I have no idea where, this is so cliche, but whoever skates on the day, this is going to be very interesting considering this season has been unconventional and unprecedented. So we have no idea.
If I hear that word one more time, I swear to God.
Swear to God, you'll go to Stockholm.
I'll do it. I'll go to Stockholm. Let me on the pirate ship.
Honestly, it can be like anyone's game. Such a cliche, but truly is. Not so much in the ladies. I feel like we all know who. Well, not all know who, but like there's a pretty strong inkling about who's going to comprise the top 10.
I think the top 3 is like, if these 3 skate,
Oh, yeah.
like lights out, there's like no one can touch them, I don't think. And that is obviously Sasha Trusova, Anna Sherbakova, and Rika Kihira. They just put out their program, their planned content at least, and it's so interesting.
Yes, let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's definitely talk about the planned content.
All right, let's start with Alexandra Trusova. No triple axel in the short program or the free skate. She's playing it safe, which, like, fair enough, because the triple axel wasn't her best friend throughout the season. And in her free skate, I would say that she's playing it smart. We all know that she wants to do, like, 1 million quads. She's definitely said she wants to do 5 quads / all the quads in the program. But her content layout for Worlds is opening with a quad lutz, then following it up with a quad toe triple toe, then a quad toe, and those are the only quads she's going to do. In the second half of the program, she's doing 2 triple combos. And I think that, this is a safe and reliable bet for her. It's not too audacious. It's also not too safe. Like, I think it's doable for her.
I think it is. And I think this could save her from having... There was this one time where she skated Game of Thrones and it was like truly like not her greatest moment. And she was so upset with herself. So I'm glad that she is not doing the 5 quads in the free. But I think that this seems doable. I'm excited. I had her on my podium with the gold medal, so I do like her. I love her costumes. I love her, like, remember that time where she skated, I think it was test skates, in the striped Adidas crop top?
Oh, girl.
That was it.
She's been killing the Adidas game. Like the Stella McCartney, she's been killing it. I'm excited for her too, because definitely have seen an improvement in her skating skills and overall presentation since she's moved to Plushenka. I actually had her in 3rd, which after this planned content stuff got released like half an hour ago, I actually might switch up my predictions because I had in 1st Anna Sherbakova, but in her free skate, she's only doing 1 quad. Well, planning to do 1 quad.
Yeah, she only has 1 quad.
1, which is the quad flip. I mean, to be fair, given her recent ailments and situation that we saw at Russian Nationals, there have been reports that she didn't look completely recovered when the Russian team was at Novogorsk. So it may be quote unquote watered down content, but also I think that, it's a strategy. She knows that, she'll probably get good GOE on the stuff that she does clean. So she might just be working PCS for her. But she does have 1 quad flip in the free skate. She has 3 triple combos planned. So I think if she can skate clean, she's on the podium for sure. It just depends on how the other 2 girls do.
I still got Sasha Trusova in first.
A lot of people do.
We'll see. You have to buy me sour candy if Sasha Trusova gets first.
I will, on the condition that you share that with me. We both love sour candy.
I'll buy you sour candy if Anna Sherbakova gets first. You buy me sour candy if Sasha Trusova gets first. Deal. I like how I've agreed to the deal and you haven't said anything.
I don't have a choice, do I? But like, I'll agree, sure. Let's talk about Rika Kihira though, because she's definitely somewhere on the podium, assuming that she skates relatively clean. And her free skate layout or content was released a couple of days ago, and they include a quad sow, triple axel double toe, a triple lutz, triple axel, triple lutz, triple toe, triple flip Euler, triple sow, and a triple loop. That is stacked. We are also going to assume that she's going to attempt a triple axel in the short program, which will, of course, give her a big lead considering that Sherbakova and Trusova aren't doing a triple axel. So, yes, definitely excited because Rika has definitely been keeping her head down and working hard, but we also should not count out our Empress, Elizaveta Tuktamysheva.
Oh, she has been not keeping her head down, but working hard. She's been screaming and working hard. I love it. We'll talk about her more later in the Kiss and Cry. But in her short program, she does have the triple axel planned. as well as in the free skate. She's going to open with a triple axel double toe and then another triple axel.
I mean, we've been seeing her land the triple axels but turn out of it. Hopefully we get to see some great triple axels because 100% she could be a big pot stirrer. If other people make mistakes, the door is definitely left wide open for her to strut on in and be like, hey guys, 24 years old, still kicking.
Still kicking at 24. I'm like almost 30. So upsetting. Also, in case anyone was wondering, I'm also still kicking. But okay, who is your pewter medalist?
My pewter medalist is Kaori Sakamoto because it's Kaori.
Because of course.
Also because I think that like international judges will respond really well to her attempts to cut off their heads in her free skate. And like if that choreo sequence doesn't get +5s across the board because like she scared the living daylights out of them, then the system is broke.
She's basically like say less. That's her being like say less.
Exactly.
In her free skate. There are also some other heavy hitters. So we talked about Liza. We talked about Kaori. Also in kind of like the 5th to 10th, 11th-ish kind of range, we also have Brady Tennell and Karen Chen from the US. And obviously this was all the buzz after World Selections happened, that Karen was chosen over Amber. We had a bunch of opinions about that in our US Nationals episode, but they are both going to Worlds, and I think that they are contenders. It's really interesting because in order to get 3 lady spots back for Worlds, they need to have a combined placement of 13 or higher. So the lowest that they can place together is 6th and 7th, and obviously there are other options that they have to place, but the lowest that they can place together is 6th and 7th, which, I mean, considering the people that they would have to beat are like Satoko Miyahara, we have Yelim Kim from Korea, Luna Hendricks, Alexia Paganini, like up to 10th or 11th. It's like nothing to scoff at here.
Yeah. Look, I think it's doable. Both of them need to skate clean, though.
Yeah.
They can't afford any mistakes.
Yeah, like nothing.
And it would be great to see the US send 3 ladies to the Olympics. But yeah, I mean, it's a tight ask from them. It is 100% doable. But yeah, I mean, like we mentioned, there's Luna Hendricks in the mix. Emmy Ma, who was formerly representing the US but switched to representing Taipei in the 2019-2020 season. We've got Alexia Paganini, who is obviously of the Stefan Lambiel camp, and they have been doing really well recently. We've got Hein Lee, we've got Yeling Kim. I think for some reason I'm more interested in like the 4th to 10th battle because, you know, knowing that Olympic spots are up for grabs, that's kind of where all the drama is, especially with, you know, the podium being somewhat predictable.
Well, you can keep your eyes off the podium because then Truceva will win and I'll get the sour candy. So you just keep on watching 4th to 10th.
Fine. Okay, let's move on to pairs. I think we and probably a majority of people have our first place predictions being Sui Wenjing and Hang Cong. So excited
Love
for them. I think for me personally, not that I don't love any of the other pairs, but I just like don't care.
Fair.
I just want to watch Sui and Han.
I think in 2nd and 3rd place, I have the 2 Russian teams. I don't know who will have the edge, Tarasova and Morozov or Boykova and Kozlovsky, but I have them in 2nd/3rd.
Yeah, same here. I think Tarasova and Morozov have the edge. Number 1, because international judges have seen them. They've got great lines, skating skills, etc. They've got the experience. They aren't doing Candyman, and they have momentum with them.
No, I want to see Candyman on the podium. I want to see Candyman in the silver medal position. I want them on the podium in the Candyman costumes.
If there's a season to do Candyman, this is the season. Like, I'd be happy for them to do their their current programs for the Olympic season. Great, but like, if you Candyman, do they really think that was going to medal at the Olympics?
#Candyman to the Olympics.
No, please don't. But yes, I have Boykova and Kozlovsky in 3rd. Obviously, you know, Mishin and Galyamov are right up against the 2 other Russian teams, but remember, we've also got Peng and Jin.
I love them. I really do like them.
We love our Cloud Atlas skaters. They always are in the mix somehow, somewhere. So we definitely cannot count them out. And they are so consistent. So I have them in my pewter medalist position.
Oh, I do too. Nice.
Oh.
All right.
And, you know, we've also got to fit in Mishin and Galyamov, Knierim and Fraser, Kane and Leduc. So, yeah, I mean, the top 5, 7 will be quite interesting because, I mean, we've seen Boykova and Kozlovsky and Mishin and Galyamov be absolutely distraught over like one tiny mistake in the short program because they know how tight it is. So it's really up to who skates the cleanest because it's going to be tight.
Yeah, I think in the top 5 at least, it's like gonna be the Chinese and Russian pairs. Like, I don't think there is any argument there. Unless like more than one of them like majorly flubs. Like, I really don't think that we're gonna see any of the other teams in the top 5. And that's obviously just my opinion. But I do think that 6th to 10th is also going to be really interesting. Like you said, we have Knierim and Fraser. This is their first season together. Kane and Leduc, who are replacing Callahan and Johnson. And then we have KMT and Michael Marinero from Canada.
Yeah, we've got some Italian pairs in there, Austrian pairs. So it's all about that Olympic qualification, guys. But yeah, like you said, really the momentum is with the Russian and Chinese. I mean, Chinese pairs haven't had as many competitions under their belt as the Russians and the Americans have had. But, you know, we know that Sui and Han can literally just pop out of nowhere and be like, hey guys, we got this. 10s across the board, like we ever left. So yeah, that's probably going to happen. I hope it happens because I've missed them and their quality so much.
I've really, really missed them. Let's move on to ice dance. Ice dance is fascinating, I think, because I think that a lot of these teams are really on like a pretty like even playing field, especially like in the top, I don't know, like 6 here, I want to say. And then also like 7 to even like 12 is really interesting. So okay, why don't we do your podium first, and then I'll do my podium.
Okay. First, I have to say that I think it will all come down to twizzles and key points in the rhythm dance. That's it. In first, I have Who the Hell Knows. In second, I have Chock and Bates. In third, I have Who the Hell Knows. In fourth, I have Who the Hell Knows. And in 5th to 10th, I have Who the Hell Knows.
I know, it's just wild. It's going to be wild.
I want Chock and Bates to win. I do. But I have a feeling that they're going to get silver. I want them to win. I want them to, you know, have gold. But, well, I feel like they're going to be on the podium. But, you know, ice dance. It's not really ice dance. It's just politicking.
Every time I talk about them at a big competition, I just have Pyeongchang flashbacks. And it's so unpleasant. I just hate it.
Why would you even bring that up?
I'm sorry, I don't like it. I don't want to put it out there, but I have to.
When we say like competition's going to be tight, like ice dance is actually going to be super, 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 super tight. We've got Chock and Bates, we've got Sinitsyn and Katalapov, whom we know the judges absolutely love. Our opinion is for another day. You'll hear it later on, but we've got Hubble and Donahue. We've got who is skating to like Hallelujah, which I mean I don't know what Hallelujah is, never heard of it, don't know what it is. Will be really exciting.
Must be a new program.
I know,
new
right?
music.
Who sings it?
Zach Donahue. Okay, I'll stop. No more.
I was about to say the exact same thing.
Bad me.
We've got Hawaiian Baker, Saturday Night Fever, woohoo! We've got Stepanov and Bukin, which I'm actually really excited for. We have Zagorski and Guerrero, Gillis and Poirier.
I love them. I feel like everyone always calls them the dark horse.
But they
I'm
are,
like, they're so legit. Just call
they
them
are legit. But like in terms of podium dark horses,
it's true.
If one of the other top teams messes up, then Piper and Paul are straight in there.
It's true. I really like them. I like them so
much. We've got Fear and Gibson, who we haven't seen all season. So I'm excited for their Madonna free dance again. We have Lejoie and Laga, who... Okay, I didn't know it was possible to skate to the Rio soundtrack. Rio being the movie with the blue endangered bird.
Oh, that Rio.
That Rio.
Are we having a Puss in Boots moment?
Yes, we are. I'm excited to see the costumes. A Rio free dance?
I love it.
I love it. I love the concept. And I love Marjorie and Zap. So excited to see them at Worlds. We've got Misato Komatsubaro.
Team Coco.
Yeah, and Tim Coletto. There's Wang and Liu, the Chinese dance team, whom we really, really like. There's also Lawrence Fournier Beaudry and Nikolai Sorensen. And of course, we have Alison Reed and Salvius Ambrilavicius. I'm so sorry if I butcher your name. But yes, we are excited to see them at Worlds as well. There's a lot going on for dance. A lot going on.
Dance is going to be great.
Oh, I also have to mention Aussie Pride, Holly Harris and Jason Chan. Woohoo! Good luck! Good luck. They are also from the I Am team up in Montreal. So excited for them to make their World's debut too. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, so I guess that's our predictions. I'm so excited. Like, now that I'm actually talking about this, I'm super stoked. Even though, I mean, the other half of me is like,
I don't know. I'm stoked and not stoked at the same time. But okay, let's talk about the COVID rules and precautions that are going to be in place or tried to be enforced at Worlds.
And we've all...
Yeah, we're going to keep this as short and sweet as we possibly can. Everyone at Worlds will be subject to the PCR COVID-19 test. Tests of antibodies will not be approved, so sorry, Team Russia.
Y'all have some real strong antibodies going on there.
I think everyone at this point knows that only one coach per skater/couple will be accredited. Not more than one team doctor and one team physiotherapist will be accepted as the team medical staff. So yeah, I mean, for example, Alexa and Brandon, they are coached by Todd Sand and Jenny Mino, and only one of them could go, so they literally pulled a name out of the hat, and Jenny is going.
Yeah, although it was very interesting because I saw Eteri, Sergei Dudikov, and Daniil are all on the plane, so...
I didn't see Dudikov. There definitely was a rumor that all three were going, and Eteri somehow managed to pull that off, but... I think if Dudikov goes, then there's going to be a big riot because, no. What I found interesting, though, I read through the doc for, the COVID regulations, and apparently a partner or relative of a judge will be accepted for restricted accreditation. If that does not scream nepotism and just, what the hell? I don't know what, really?
What does that even mean?
What?
What is that?
But the skaters aren't allowed any chaperones, so I'm assuming parents can't go.
Oh gosh.
So
okay, but the judges are. They're allowed a chaperone.
Do they need somebody to bring them tea or something? Who knows? Anyway, so World Championships will have a competition bubble where there are different levels, level 1 through level 4. Level 1 the most important people, the skaters, the officials, yada, yada, yada. Level 2 people are the ones who have, close contact with them. There is not going to be a free skate/free dance draw. It's just going to be reverse order of the short program results. The draw for the short program/rhythm dance will be held. There will be people there. No skaters are going or, required to go. Only, the referee, technical controller, and 2 designated team leaders, who will be there to observe the process.
All right, so then the next part of the document that we read through is this testing and health screening protocol prior to entering the bubble, okay? So all of this stuff has to be done before you actually go into the bubble. So the first part is that you have to observe, check, and report daily your own health situation starting at least 5 days before arrival to the bubble. And that is done through self-reporting through the health questionnaire. I have my issues with self-reporting, but it's happening. Like we mentioned earlier, there is PCR testing to COVID, and you need to present a negative test no more than 48 hours prior to arrival in Stockholm. Then there is going to be a second PCR test after they get there. And before accreditation is granted, this test will happen. And they have to isolate in their hotel room until they get their results back.
Yeah, but during the championship week, the minimum test policy is daily health checks via the online ICU COVID health questionnaire. And after filling it in, the individual will receive the result, which is valid for that day only. The result must be shown to entrance control at the venue, and there will be stations at every entrance. Body temperature will also be checked at every entrance to the venue, and an additional COVID-19 PCR test will be required no later than 4 days after arrival at Stockholm.
All right. So the next section that we're going to talk about, and then I swear to God, we're done with this. I just want to lay this out. So the next section is called general measures. So interactions with people obviously must be limited. Wearing a mask over your nose, Marisi, even your non-blue mask. Keeping minimum distance and hygienic measures. Dedicated walkways within the venue to minimize traffic. One way walking, folks. And then media is strictly separated, zero contact, all interviews virtually through the mixed zone. Skaters are assigned to designated dressing rooms based on rotation and schedule.
Okay. There are 2 male and 2 female dressing rooms, for physical distancing and all that. But Tanya Flade gave us a little tour on her Insta story, and we got to look at the dressing rooms. Joss, they're average size, right? Like they're decently sized. But there are just benches with hooks, like your typical public school gym locker room.
Public school gym locker room. Oh, no.
And there are no measures within the dressing room to ensure social distancing. I don't know if there'll be officials always there monitoring stuff, but there are no booths or marked separation spaces. Maybe I've just been watching sports that have more money in them. For example, soccer/football, where, clubs are taking really extraordinary measures to ensure social distancing, spacing all their players out in the dressing room. But this is literally just your typical cheap skating rink bench, right? And how do you enforce social distancing within that?
You can't. They would have to do it. The athletes would have to do it themselves. And I would hope, and I think that most of them are pretty kind of COVID cautious. I mean, judging from the interviews, apart from the super spreader event, but I mean, super spreader aside, everyone seems pretty cautious.
Yeah. Oh, one more thing before we finish COVID regulations, because I know this is boring everyone, but victory ceremony. Face masks are compulsory for all people present in the area, including skaters on the podium. No one is allowed to hug, kiss, handshake. There's not going to be any pictures of all the medalists sharing the first place podium. But yes, we're going to be all masked up in the victory ceremony and on the podium. So that's great.
Awesome. Okay, that is the end of COVID protocols.
Yes, and we're going to move on to something that is pretty unbelievable, and that is World Team Trophy.
Which is also happening. Apparently it's going on. It's happening from April 15th to 18th, which is a little less than a month, in Osaka, Japan.
What I found really funny is that literally quoted in the documentation is, due to the limited time between the ISU World Figure Skating Championships 2021 and their ISU World Team Trophy, all qualified team members are requested to take care of their individual travel documents and permits, visa, etc. on a timely basis. I'm dude,
oh, no.
ISU's only going to notify the teams who qualified on March 30th. And you've got 2 weeks to do your visa, organize travel, organize accommodation, and all that stuff. Including some of the world's competitors might not even go to World Team Trophy. This is a quick turnaround, man.
I know.
And we don't even know whether Japan is going to be yes, let's do World Team Trophy. Because there have definitely been concerns over even them running the Summer Olympics this year. And there's been no news on it. So I've got no idea what's going on. In the wise words of Mr. Scott Moyer, I hate this event. Literally, the video of Scott Moyer saying he hated World Team Trophy in the Kiss and Cry at World Team Trophy resurfaced a week ago, and it's always the funniest thing ever. I mean, we like World Team Trophy. We also don't care about World Team Trophy in a non-Olympic year.
It's true. All right. Well, that's happening, or apparently happening, April 15th to 18th.
Yes, and okay. Now it's time for our Kiss and Cry.
Okay, so we are going to start with our book, and the book that we chose today is a book that we are recommending in light of the hate crimes and murders of the 8 people in Atlanta this past week. 6 of the people that were killed and murdered were Asian American. And the book that we're recommending today is Minor Feelings: An Asian American Reckoning by Kathy Park Hong. And this is a nonfiction book, and Kathy Park Hong herself is the daughter of Korean immigrants, and this title is a memoir, and it's combined with some history and some cultural criticism. She reflects on her own experience being told one thing by American society, including the model minority myth and anti-immigrant rhetoric, and having to unlearn these ideologies to cultivate her own self-love and agency. The title itself, Minor Feelings, she describes in the book as almost belittling her own feelings around the discrimination enacted towards her, and being told that her experiences don't truly qualify as discrimination, and how this really is a type of gaslighting that can lead to a trauma response in the body. She also talks about colorism and casteism in the Asian diaspora and how Asians and Asian Americans are not a monolith. It is 2021, and it is about time that this book gets more traction, especially in this climate. We really encourage you to pick this one up. Again, it is called Minor Feelings: An Asian American Reckoning by Kathy Park Hong.
All right, so let's get into our kiss and cry content, which is pretty much all the non-world stuff that we're going to talk about that happened since we last recorded. So that includes definitely the Russian Cup final, which happened at the end of February. And of course, because it's a Russian competition, it was just drama galore, pre and post. Let's start with the ladies of the event. It was won by Kamila Valieva. Second place was Maya Kromik, who surprised everyone by landing 2 different quads, a quad sow and quad toe, and she won the free skate, landed in second, and Terry cracked the biggest smile I have ever seen her crack. It was wild. Daria Sashova came in third, Liza Tuktamysheva came in fourth, and thus got her berth to Worlds. Anna Frolova came in fifth, and Aliona Kostornaia came in sixth. And we will talk about her later on. Kamila Valieva had an awful free skate, really, and she said herself in the kiss and cry that her short program marks what kept her afloat to win the competition. We love a work girl.
Facts. It was really Maya Kromik's competition.
It really
she
was.
did so well. Camila, again, she said herself, facts. Her short program marks really kept her afloat.
Terry was like screaming, Maya Morja, like Maya can do it.
Yes,
yeah,
she
legit.
can.
I've never seen like a Terry smile so big, and I was like, I'm not, and I've said on the pod, I'm not the biggest fan of Maya's skating. She's fine, right? She can win any domestic comp out of Russia, like hands down, no problem. But I actually really enjoyed her skates at Cup of Russian final. Like, she really came out as, there was like a breath of fresh air about her, and like I'm really, really happy for her, because like we've seen her just go down on every single quad attempt that she's ever done in competition.
Splat.
So like,
yes, she has splatted quite a few quads
even if
before.
you hate the girl, which like you shouldn't, like how can you?
No.
Like,
no one hate Maya
Kromik. She pulled
Kromik.
out like 2 quads, and not only 2 quads, but 2 different quads, and we're just like, okay, all right, Maya, all right,
We'll take it. Let's move on to the men's results. So in first place, we had Evgeny Semenenko, who was our second Worlds team spot. Obviously, he's going to Worlds with Misha Kolyada. In silver, we had Peter Gumenek. In bronze, we had, oh no, I really wanted him to go to Worlds. My good friend Dima Aliyev.
He's such a chaotic boy.
I know.
Such a chaotic boy.
I really, really wanted him to go.
This was honestly such a chaotic Russian men's competition.
As they are usually.
Yeah. Andrei Mozylyov was in 4th. Mark Kondratyuk, 5th. Makar Ignatov was in 8th.
Yeah.
Who knows, man?
Who knows? And then, so let's move on to ice dance. So our ice dance results: in first were Sinitsina and Katsalapov, and then second, Morozov and Bagin. And then for pairs, in first, we have Mishina and Galyamov, because a lot of the pairs that, or I guess our other our other top two Russian pairs teams did not skate here.
Yeah, I think it was pretty predictable who would get the final dance and pairs results. I mean, for pairs, Pavlyuchenko and Kordikin could have been contenders, but Mishin and Galyamov took the competition by 20 points. So far and away, the final pairs spot. Junior ladies of the Russian Cup final was interesting. Sofia Katyeva won, followed by Sofia Samodelkina and Adelia Petrosyan. And blessed Veronika Zhilina, last place in the short program because she fell on the triple axel as well as the triple lutz, so she didn't have a combo jump, but then came back in the free skate, got fourth. She fell into the triple axel, but she pulled out a quad toe, double toe, even though like the sequence was invalid, then just pulls out a quad toe out of nowhere and just like, I feel like she's another true surfer. She's got like nothing in the face, but she can like jump till, I don't know, the sun explodes.
Which we hope it doesn't, just to clarify.
And Russian juniors, again, pop in. Junior dance, Terry's daughter, Diana Davis, competed with her partner, Gleb Smolkin, and they won the junior dance by like 15 points. Politicking for sure. In silver were Kaganovskaya and Gelapol, who were like gorgeous, and I think that they should have won, but Diana Davis is a Terry's daughter, so...
There it is. There it is. We're just going to lay it out for you.
So that's our very, very, very quick Russian Cup final recap, I guess. But the biggest story came out of the whole event was...
Drum roll, please. Aliona Kostornaia is moving back.
My daughter.
To Eteri, to Sambo 70. Oh, gosh.
Okay, to be fair, she never left Sambo 70 in the first place.
Oh, I'm so sorry for... assuming that she did. This is like the fever dream. Do you remember when we talked about Zhenya moving back to Eteri? I found that felt like yesterday
and also like 5 years ago. So Aliona didn't have a great outing at the Russia Cup final. We all knew that she was battling COVID recovery and it was pretty not great. She flubbed the triple flip combo in the short program pretty badly. I have never seen her flub the triple flip combo in competition. She was in absolute tears at the end of the program. The only time I've ever seen her be that upset was Junior Grand Prix when she did a waxel in the short program. Like, the rest of the program was perfect. She still ended up first after the short, but she was crying her eyes out. And like, yes, she's known as a crier and a really emotional girl, but like, she was really, really, really upset, and it broke my heart because in the kiss and cry after the short, there was a video of like people cheering in the audience when she was in the kiss and cry, and like Rozanov said something to her. It's probably to the effect of like, see, people support you. And, you know, people with the skill of lip reading were like, oh, Aliona said, oh, they're supporting the old me. They don't deserve like this. And I was like, oh, girl, Aliona. And so it was hard to take as an Aliona fan, but also as just, you never want to see somebody who's like that devastated after a performance.
Yeah, it was really, really sad. And then, of course, the adults in the situation just had to make everything worse.
Tatiana Tarasova, we're looking at you.
Daniil and Sergei Rozanov both posted on their Instagram story in response to the rumors that Aliona was moving back to Eteri. Daniil posts, and so he wrote on his screen, like with his finger, it's like the drawing tool of your Instagram story. He like took a screenshot, uploaded it, and then used his finger to write, "We haven't decided yet."
In pink,
and then
capital letters.
Yes, in the, like this maroon shade, very somber maroon on the Instagram story. And then Sergei Rozanov posts the Instagram story that said fake news all over it. And I was like, okay, guys.
Well, fake news was in response to the rumor that Rozanov was wanting to go back to Sambo 70 and Team Tupuritsa wouldn't accept him. And he's just like, fake news. I'm like, okay, fair enough. But Daniil did not have to be like, we haven't decided whether to take Aliona back. Like,
writing on his phone with his finger.
Daniil, oh, I can't. But, you know, I think the writing was on the wall when after the free skate at Russian Cup final, Aliona quoted a Terry when she said like, oh, one of my coaches once said that the road will be mastered by the one who walks it. And everyone's just like, a Terry said that. Aliona's quoting a Terry. And then like a day later, reports came out that she was seen at Sambo 70, and it was just like, oh, what's going on? And I'm just like, can you leave her alone? But of course it's Russia and no one leaves anyone alone.
Hence the super spreader event.
They're super spreaders of everything. COVID, gossip.
But she apparently is back on conditional acceptance. She's on a 2-month probation period. So she has to attend all classes without excuses. She has to skate with whoever is on the ice, and she has to get her triple axel back within 2 months. Oy
vey. You know what? First, I will say that I think it's doable. Aliona herself said that she found it very hard to motivate herself to work when she was with Plushenko. And you know what? Like, I completely empathize. I get it. However, Aliona, like, Alexei Mishin is open. Like, yes, I get that he's in St. Petersburg, but was Terry really the only choice? My answer is yes and no. Aliona was just like, 6th place at Russian Cup final is not great. Like, rather, it makes it clear that you have done something wrong. Everything in your life is wrong and this needs to be changed. You should go and apologize, tame your pride, and ask for forgiveness. So, like, yes, she's definitely the center of a lot of drama, but she is 17 and this is her, learning things the hard way, which, needs to be done. And I think it's good that she recognizes her mistakes and what is needed to get her to where she wants to be in the skating world. Yes, part of it is problematic, but not so much problematic as like the adults in the situation. For example, Tatiana Tarasova, who was just like, why is Aliona crying? She's in 6th place. Like, what's wrong? There's no need to cry. Even if she hadn't failed the element, she would have been in 6th. And then she goes like, Kostornaia was loudly leaving Tutbritsa, like, all over the country. Now she needs to apologize to the whole country. Like, are you kidding?
The whole country. The entire country.
I mean, there are other more reasonable Russian adults who are just like, if she realized her mistake and apologized, then, like, you should be able to forgive her and all that stuff. But Tatiana Tarasova, I'm just like, oh God. And then there was this whole thing about contracts where Evgeny Plushenko was just like, there weren't any contract. There's no contracts between Aliona and I. Like, she's free to leave. And, like, to be fair, Evgeny surprised me and a lot of other people by seemingly taking this situation with a lot of grace. But then his wife, Yana Rudkovskaya, was just like, we have a lot of contracts, and everyone's just like, dude, what the hell?
Yeah, and then there was this whole thing also about, like, was it the finances? Like, is she somehow locked in financially? And then there was this whole rumor thing with Terry and some people with Terry's camp that there was something going on financially. It was just...
Yana was like, a certain amount of work has been done and the cost must be compensated for. Like, someone will have to pay.
Right.
And then director of Sambo 70, Liza, was just like, it's not our prerogative. We don't have any money except from funding from the state. Lol, they're funny. Like, we could talk about this for 10 hours and also, like, not talk about it for 10 hours. So if you want more information, Google is your friend. There's a bunch of articles and interviews describing the whole entire situation. It's so chaotic. I think we just wish that Aliona recovers from all of her injuries, recovers from COVID, and just gets healthy and prepared for next season. I think it's a blessing in disguise that she didn't make the world team, because it's clear that she isn't in the right place physically and probably mentally to finish out the season. So, not have the pressure of having to go to Worlds and compete and all of that, which I think is actually just, it's good for her.
Yes. So we're going to move on from all this lovely Sambo 70 news, as we do. But it was one of our favorite friends, Alexei Mishin's 80th birthday.
Woohoo!
There were skaters from Plushenko's academy. There was a big party. He took photos with Liza. He took photos with everyone. It was so nice. Happy birthday.
I know. Mr. Mishin, masters in biomechanics and inventor of the skating jump harness. Yeah, like you said, Plushenko's skaters were all there. Mishin's skaters were all there, including some other popular Russian skaters. It seemed like a cool-ass party. Mishin is dope. So happy birthday, Mishin. We hope you stay around for much longer because we just love your work. Also, like, you've got 3 skaters at Worlds. Not even a Terry can say that.
Amazing. Speaking of photo shoots, Liza Tuktamysheva had a cover shoot with MAXIM. It was gorgeous, as she is.
MAXIM?
As she is. It was a very, very good photo shoot.
Oh my God. It came out of nowhere, but it was fire. It was so good.
Straight fire.
100%. And the amount of positive support that she got was so great. She said she was surprised by it, and, you know, she's had trouble with body image in the past, but is now, like, proud of her body. And, like, fair enough, she looks so good.
Yeah, love it. If you want to see the photos, they are everywhere.
Just go to her Instagram.
Just go. Google is your friend. These are great photographs. Love her. Love this photo shoot.
Okay. I think that we've rambled on long enough, and we've got a lot more rambling to do in the upcoming days. So we're going to finish this episode here.
So I am Joss, and you can come and chat with us at Let's Get Down Pod. That's LUTZ Get Down Pod on Twitter and Instagram. And if you want to work with us, shoot us an email at letsgetdownpod@gmail.com.
If you like this podcast and, like us, have stocked up on buckets of popcorn for the drama to kick it up a notch this week, please leave us a review and give us some 5-star love. We would really appreciate it. Thanks y'all for listening.
Talk to you soon. Bye.